Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Obviously by the title, you or someone is going through the recruiting process, and that is so awesome, yet so confusing, so frustrating. There's a lot of things that go into it. So I really just wanted to make this video to basically give you the recruiting guide you wish you had from a Division I soccer player. I have my computer down here so I don't lose any notes or anything, so if I'm looking down, please don't mind it. Also, these are all questions that were asked on my TikTok, which I will link down below and put on the screen as well, so that you can go and ask any questions you want. And I also have some videos with recruiting tips there. So let's just get right into it. First off, I want to give you a little bio on me so you can trust me. But my name is Tyler. I'm a Division I soccer player at Indiana University, but I wasn't on any national teams or really well known around the country. So I really had to know how to market myself and get my name out there. I'm a goalkeeper. That's really all I got. But so let's get into the questions. So the first little section is going to be getting seen by coaches. So the first question is, can you get recruited if you don't play ECNL? Yes, of course you can. I played GA, Girls Academy, so you definitely don't have to be just ECNL. It definitely helps to be ECNL or a good GA team just because you're getting the exposure out there to lots of high-level college athlete coaches, but you still get that exposure at the Aspire events or the ECRL events as well. And the tricky thing is that those tournaments and showcases give you the exposure. So if you're not on one of those teams, it is harder to get recruited by a college. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's harder. And you have to just work harder to get your name out there and push yourself out there. Does GA versus ECNL matter? Look, again, I was on GA and I'm going to a Power 4 school. You can do it from either league. I really don't think it matters. Obviously, ECNL is more saturated, more well-known, so you do see a lot more ECNL commits. But like I said, you can get recruited by a college if you're ECNL, ECRL, GA, GA Aspire, really any level if you're good enough. Can you get recruited if you only play high school soccer? This is a tricky situation for sure because it's going to be harder because you're not having that exposure. So I would recommend going to play club. I get that it can be really expensive. There are other pathways, but the easiest pathway is to get into club and get to those showcases where you can be seen by those coaches. I love my club, but they aren't ECNL. Should I leave? Like I said, if they're GA, that still worked for me. But if it's just a regular club where they don't have, ECRL, GA, GA Aspire, and you're not going on these showcases, again, gonna be hard to put yourself out there and get seen by these coaches. So it also depends, do you want to go to a really high level school? Then if you do, then I would say go to the club that has ECNL or GA. It's really about the showcases. Those help so much. How do coaches actually find players? Really, like I said, the tournaments, the showcases, recommendations from other coaches, emails for sure, with highlights attached, obviously, but also ID camps. This is something I haven't mentioned yet, which I probably should have because it's a really good point, but ID camps for sure. Yes, can they be kind of a money grab? But I think if you're putting yourself in front of these coaches and they're seeing you and you're making a good impression on them as a player and as a person, then it's worth it. I did some ID camps and was constantly talking to the coaches afterwards, before, always asking for tips on what I needed to do better and all that stuff, just to show that I was able to learn and take criticism. I think that's very important. But usually if you have a school-specific ID camp, those are usually better. I've noticed the combined schools where it's a bunch of D1, D2, D3s, NAIs, it can get kind of iffy, but it really just depends. If one of those group ID camps has a coach you're really interested in, then go to it because it's usually local. And if you really like the school, get that exposure. Next topic is emails. How do you email a college coach and what do you need in your email? You want to make it professional, obviously, and you want to make them personalized because coaches can really tell if you send a copy-paste email. I've heard of coaches telling stories about people who have accidentally copied and pasted a different college's name, coaches, into that school's email. And you really don't want to do that because they'll remember stuff like that. But the subject line, I'm actually going to pull up an old email that I've sent. So for my subject line, and this email specifically is for a showcase, but in the subject line, I put my first and last name, my grad year, my position, and then the little line thing, not the slash, but the straight up line. It's called a pipe symbol. Didn't know that, but so you put the pipe symbol there, and then I would put my club, my team age, so girls 08, and then if you're ECNL GA, so I'd be like my club, girls 08 GA, and then you would put your GPA, 3.7 GPA, whatever. That's what I did in my subject lines. I have also heard of people doing jokes. I don't know how effective that is. I never did it. You can try it if you want. I don't know if it works or not though. Obviously you introduce yourself. My name is Tyler Roberts. I am a rising junior at my high school in Blank, Washington, and I'll be graduating in the class of 2026. I'm a goalkeeper for the club team, Girls 08 GA team. I would change some stuff up, whether I would talk about what makes me special. So in specifically this email I said, what makes me stand out is my size and my build, my communication to my team on the field, and my strength. I'm interested in school because I love how connected you all look as a team on Instagram. I really love the looks of the program. Also really like the size of the school, class size kind of thing. I'll be attending the GA Winter Showcase and would love for you to come to a game to watch. I'll be wearing number 1 in either teal or a green yellow for club. I also have my high school saves attached to this email as well, and please let me know if there is any more you would like to see. And then I gave them my schedule. So this is an old schedule, so December 5th at 11:15 a.m. versus Syracuse Development Academy on field 16. Yeah, but the date, time, and then what field. To put what number you are and what jerseys you'll be wearing. Would do after games or after tournaments, would thank the coaches for coming. I know I would just put subject line and be like, hey coach blank, my name is Tyler Roberts, I'm the goalkeeper for the Girls 08 club team, and I just wanted to thank you for coming out to our game against club. I really appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Stuff like that. I'm trying to find some other ones. Can you email coaches before June 15th? Yes. You just won't get anything back. When you're emailing coaches before June 15th of your junior year, sophomore year, junior, I can't remember. But whenever your June 15th starts, I would email coaches my freshman year of high school. I know I'm not gonna get anything back because they can't legally talk to me. I get some emails saying like, thank you so much for reaching out due to June 15th. Due to NCAA rules, we can't interact with this email, and here's an ID camp though. And it'd be a generated email, but it's just pushing yourself out there so that they can start prepping for you when your class is coming. Because some schools will recruit really early and immediately jump to the next class. So, and then they can see how you grow in highlights. So, how often should you follow up? So you should be emailing before tournaments, before showcases, before ID camps, before any time you're going to see a college coach. When should you follow up? After tournaments, when you send them new film, after showcases. Definitely don't just email them randomly, but if you have, like, say like, hey, I've been coming up, love to see you there. Send the schedule afterwards, thank you so much for coming. Or you missed the game, here are my highlights. Stuff like that. Thank them for the ID camp. I thanked a lot of people for ID camps. I would reach back out and be like, thank you so much. I had a great time. I appreciate your feedback, stuff like that. Another tip about your emails is to find something special about yourself, something special about where you live, something like that, and include it in emails. This I learned from a former Power 4 school coach and current national team scout. But when she was talking to me, she was telling me about a girl from Hawaii who would always attach pictures of turtles in her emails and give facts about turtles each email because it was special to her because she was from Hawaii. For me, luckily I had something where I went to that 10 Things I Hate About You was filmed that. So I was able to take that and be like, hey, you seen this movie? Because that's where I go to school. And then it just kind of makes them like, they don't remember your name. They're like, oh, she went to that one school. So I kind of remember. Just reason for a coach to remember you. So I know like for Washington, you could something about like Starbucks and being like the first Starbucks or something like that. I don't know, it has to be about you, so just find that. If you don't have something, like, if it's not the end of the world if you don't have something or can't find something. All right, next topic, ID camps. Are they worth it? Like I said before, I think they're worth it if you're really interested in the school and it's a school established camp. I think if it's one of the camps that it's like, oh, we have this many schools at our camp, they have a lot of schools, but they may not be all the schools you want. So if they are, great, go to them. If not, I don't think you really need to. And I feel like it's a higher level at these school setup camps than at those camps. What questions should you ask coaches? Well, it depends for camps, because if it's not your recruiting time, they can't really say much to you about you or what they're looking for or what they're looking at. You can ask them to give you feedback. That would be my biggest thing. After the camp, go up to them, thank them. There's going to be a lot of people. Go up to the coaches you really want to talk to and try to get there early, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to talk to them. So go up to the coaches, say thank you so much for the camp. I had so much fun. I'm going to work on this thing you told me or whatever. And then just be like, is there any more feedback you have for me? I'd love to get better or whatever, something like that. And then they'll give you the feedback or whatever they can give you, and then just take it and work on it. And then maybe you have a tournament coming up and you're like, hey coach, I was at your ID camp on this date at this time slot. I have a game coming up. I've been working on my blank. I'd really love for you to see it. A big thing too, I would say at ID camps, if they're there, talk to the players. Talk to the people who are in the spot you want to be in, because they'll know best. They'll tell you what the coaching staff is like, even if they don't really tell you, but ask them, because they're in the shoes you want to be in. So see what they say about the vibe of the coaches and how everything works out. Ask them all the questions you have about being a student athlete at that school. How do you introduce yourself at a camp? Obviously, your name, what club you're from, what position you are, say your grad year, because then they'll know what they can say to you. You'd say, I'm very excited for this camp. Yeah, kind of really anything that you want to say, as long as it's appropriate for one, you and a coach to be talking about. Next topic, highlight videos. Now, what should every highlight video include? Definitely put your best plays first. Coaches really, I feel like, can only watch videos for like 30 to 60 seconds. So if yours isn't very interesting, they're just gonna move on to the next. So put your best stuff first. At the very beginning, I like to put a picture of myself and then my name, position, graduate, high school, club, all stuff. I'll put a picture up here of what I did. I also have it on my TikTok as well. What should a goalkeeper include in their highlight video? Definitely distribution, crosses, 1v1s, shot stopping. Goalkeepers, you can really do anything that you would normally do, as long as it's nothing that's very easy. Like if you're playing a 2-touch pass to your outside back with no pressure on you or them, don't include that. But if you're getting pressured and you're able to make a 1-touch pass out to the back, then that's maybe worth putting. What app did I use? I use CapCut. It's so easy. For highlight videos, you're really just only like cutting the time and like putting other videos next to it. You don't need anything fancy. iMovie works too. How long should a highlight video be? Anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Like I said, best clips first. All right, next topic, recruiting mistakes. These are mistakes I made in the recruiting process that I don't want you to make. Definitely have an open mind on colleges. I only wanted to go to school in California. I had no desire to go to school in the Midwest or the East Coast, so that really limited my options. People started getting recruited to those schools and I didn't even give myself a chance. I'm recruited at a Midwest school and I love it. Like I said before, go to ID camps. Get yourself exposure face to face, because it's always better than over email. And last thing, grades. Keep your grades up all 4 years of high school. So much easier to consistently keep good grades throughout high school than have bad grades first 2 years and then have to work really hard to get good grades the last 2 years. What would I do again? Biggest thing is introducing yourself to college coaches at tournaments and showcases. Go up to them and tell them your name, your club, your position, and then also tell them who you're playing, where you're playing, and what time you're playing at. I did this with some big schools, and it got them to my games. They came and watched. Kentucky watched me play, UCLA watched me play. Like, these coaches came and watched because I introduced myself, and they, I think, respected the fact that I came up to them. At the end of the game, I shook hands with every coach nearby. So if coaches were sitting by my goal after the game, I'd be like, hey, thank you so much for coming. Just be proactive. Don't wait for coaches to come to you. Go to coaches. That's the biggest way to market yourself. How do I stay confident during recruiting? The biggest thing is comparison. I think I would compare myself to those on a national team and be like, why did they get picked up so quickly? But everyone's process is different, and I ended up just fine. That's really all the stuff I have for today, but if you have any more questions, comment them down below. And if there's anything else you want to know, comment down below. Go follow my TikTok, which I'll leave right here. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something today. And like I said, reach out if you have any questions. Comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you later.